Sky Blue Fans TV. For the fans, by the fans.
Well, good evening. Welcome to Sky Blue Fans TV. This is our first special show tonight. We've got 3 shows this week. We've got tonight, we've got Thursday night, and also we got our live forum down at the White Horse in Leamington Spa on Friday night from 7 o'clock. So if you want something to do Friday night, a couple of drinks with us, lads and girls, because Vicky will be there, hopefully, fingers crossed, she's back off her holidays. We call her Judith Chalmers lately because she's always on her jolly. So if she's back, hopefully she'll be down the White Horse with us as well. And we've had a few people messaging me today saying they're going to come and join us. So hopefully we'll have a good crowd. And if you know any Man United fans that want to pop down the White Horse, then, well, let them know. They can come down and have a little chat as well. It'd be brilliant. Right, we get our guests on very, very shortly. Just a couple of house things going on for us. Don't forget the George and John statue appeal. If you could head over to the Donate Now page on the GoFundMe, there. Collecting their May next year, and below are the account details for the Sky Blues in the community. You can also find it on our description as well, and you can also find the GoFundMe page on there. Here we go. So here we are, White Horse, Friday night. So head down, get down there for about 7 o'clock. Then we start about 7:30. We'll have a couple of sherbets and have a great night chatting about the weekend's events coming up. So hope you can join us then. Now, let's get Ken in. Good evening, Ken.
Good evening. How are we?
All right, you? First
Yeah.
of our special shows, excited?
Yeah, build up, countdown's on. Countdown to Sunday is on. Getting excited now.
Yeah, are you feeling it now? Are you getting excited for it all?
Yeah, I'm excited. Always exciting when you go to Wembley, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm confident as well. Even after that last Saturday's disappointment, I'm still pretty confident we can get a result.
Brilliant. Now we have a special guest on tonight, Jack Saunders from Leamington Warwick Supporters Club will be joining us. Hopefully, I did send him the link. He's meant to be joining us, but we do have a special guest, and he's a Man United fan. I've met him at work. He came in last week. We are doing his clothing range for his charity that he is raising for. We'll get him to tell you all about it. And he's going to be running the London Marathon on Sunday as well. So please give a nice warm welcome to Joe Ramsden.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Evening, Joe.
Evening.
All good. All good, mate. All good.
Yeah, good. Thank you, Mars. Yeah, all good. Thanks, mate. Not too bad. As good as we can be, and looking forward to the weekend in a mixed variety.
Yeah. Now, listen, we've got you on here tonight. I can see you wearing the awful version of the money. I mean, what is that all about? That shirt? It's got to be the worst shirt. That's got to be worse than our brown shirt that we had in the late 70s and early 80s. But I mean, is that green? Is it green?
It is green.
Dark green, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it? Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I haven't owned many shirts for a while, so I thought I'd go a little bit rogue on this year, and also like our performance doesn't exactly justify too much, so it doesn't matter how I look. Let's face it; it's not like I'm trying to match the quality of the football, is it?
Somebody's just said. I just got a comment up here.
Go on, then.
That's Bruno Fernandes. You reckon you look like Bruno?
There we are. We got Bruno on. Yeah, we got Bruno. Well, we didn't want to give it away, did we, Bruno? You know?
That's it. I've been found out.
And you're running the marathon before kickoff as well.
I am, yeah. In fact, to be honest, I looked and I'm confident I'll still be running during kickoff. In fact, I was also analysing whether or not when the times get tough during the marathon, it might be worth sticking it in my ear, but I can't guarantee that will help me because That's a big old risk. I mean, I do not need anything to kick me while I'm down during the last few miles, do I?
Now, listen, let's have a little chat about the London Marathon. Then we'll talk about the old semi-final coming up. I've got some photos here. So as I'm bringing up the photos, chat about why you're doing this run on Sunday. We've got another marathon runner coming on Thursday. She's running it and then hopefully getting to the game. So, but I mean, tell us a bit what's going on, why you're doing this marathon.
So I'm doing the marathon because it's to raise money for the people of the MS Society and for Mind UK. It was largely because 3 years ago, funnily enough, 3 years ago on the day itself, I went into hospital completely unbeknownst and didn't know why. And it was because, months and months later, after a lot of hospital visits and a lot of tours in ambulances, found out that I have MS and quite an intense version of it. So So when I was out of hospital and feeling better, I thought that I wanted to do something. I wanted to try and get my body fit again. So a marathon made sense. And MS is a condition that really responds massively well to just looking after yourself and being fit and being healthy. So it kind of tied in. And I thought the best thing to do was to raise as much money for them. But I'm doing something a little bit different, hence why the ridiculously large amount of marketing and stuff out there it is. I have decided it's a good idea to live stream the whole thing, and I am confirmed going to be the first person ever to attempt to live stream a whole marathon. So we've developed this body rig, incredibly attractive body rig that you can see on the picture, which has a live 360 camera there, which you can see attached, and that cables around like some sort of bionic man into my rucksack, which has a modem on it, which has batteries in it. It is not light. It's very, very bloody heavy. It's so that's going to be streamed live to YouTube for the whole thing. And the whole idea with the tie with the, there I am looking like an idiot on a racetrack. That's me feeling happy because I don't have a bloody rig on. It's, running is a great thing and it makes you feel a lot better. But when you stick that rucksack on you and the camera rig, it changes everything. But then the other side of it with raising for mental health was the whole idea started by being like, I believe that people go through a lot of crap and for some reason feel like they've got to hide away from that. And if they have bad times, and I spoke to a lot of people who told me when I was doing, who said, yeah, you know what, I've had some really shit times, and they don't speak to anyone about it. And I thought that's just mental. So I wanted to find a way that we could try and, I'll be the test dummy for it and say, this is me having a rough time, is what happens during a marathon. So it was like, this is why I'm live streaming the whole thing, to, openly show people what it looks like when you have a bit of a crap time in life and hopefully get through it. So that was kind of where it's all spanned from. And yeah, now this Sunday it will be live on YouTube, me with a camera for however long it takes me to do it. And we are aiming to raise as much money and as much awareness as possible for, two amazing charities, to be honest.
And I mean, it's Ready Steady Joe. I mean, is that how they find you on YouTube on Sunday?
Yeah, so it's the handle for the Instagram is readysteady_Joe, and that's the same on Facebook, and I also think the same on YouTube too. And on there you'll find links to the YouTube channel, but effectively it'll be on YouTube on the day a live link, and then on the Instagram pages and Facebook pages along you'll find ways to donate and that kind of thing. It's obviously the whole part and parcel of trying to generate as much following and really to get people to tune in on the day is I am going to be a running billboard. I've got 4.5 hours or 5 hours to say to people, look, if you've not got anything better to do with your Sunday than to watch me sweat, then at least chuck a couple quid my way. That would make me feel happy. So that's the plan. And let's hope it works. And
can they donate on the YouTube stream then? Is there going to be a link? Because I've put your LinkedIn. Not LinkedIn. What's where it shows all your different pages? Yeah,
the link tree. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so the link tree. That's it. I'll put that on our description tonight so people can have a little look at that. But if they were to donate on Sunday, if all the Sky Blue Army are travelling down, they want something to watch while they're stuck in the traffic, they can tune in and watch you and donate, can they?
Yeah, they can. Yeah, exactly that. If you go on the link tree, you'll find links on there to the social medias, and there's a clear note that says to donate here, and it just goes to a Just Giving page, which has links to both the charities, or you can donate to the team, which is sort of splits it down the middle to both. So that's the way to donate. And yeah, of course, if anyone's traveling down to the game and wants to tune in and watch, and for you Cov fans out there, you might quite enjoy watching a Man United fan really go through it. I can't imagine it'll be the first time on Sunday that you'll see that, so we'll have to see.
How you said about the weight? I mean, how big are the batteries then that are powering the modem and things? I mean, what sort of weight does it, on the back?
I think, I think we're looking. If I'm completely honest with you, I can't tell you the direct weight, and I don't know. I know how I could find out. I don't know whether I want to. I feel like it might be a mental thing to not know that. I know how it
Oh,
feels.
good idea.
And I've done a couple of training runs where I strapped I had a full on weight vest on me, which was about 6 or 7 kilos. And that wasn't enjoyable. And I don't think it's quite that heavy, but it's got to be around about that. But because it's all wedged in different ways, and the camera rig itself really constricts your breathing, because I'm effectively ratchet strapping a big old metal plate around my waist, which attaches to the camera. So it's the weight is definitely there. We're probably around about the 5 or 6 kilo mark, which when you're running 26 miles, it really does start to you start to know about it pretty soon.
And with the camera, because it's at an angle, isn't it? If we look at that, it's sort of at an angle. I mean, does that move much when you're running, or does it bring your body forward a little bit? Does it take your posture away?
I think it kind of can. I guess if there's ever a good side to what the rig offers, is because I've got the modem and the batteries in the backpack. There is an element of counterweight and balancing there. So so the camera itself is sort of a rough 45-degree angle, and it goes out maybe about 3/4 of a meter out. So there is a rough amount of balance there. But also, if you can imagine, obviously our stomachs, no matter how much I train and lose weight and get in shape, it's not absolutely rigid. So you've got a little bit of give and movement, and that give and movement means that the camera does bounce a little bit. So really, the tighter I strap it, the less bounce there is. So there's a balance there between making it elementally comfortable and runnable, but at the same time, it's got to be doable. Because I actually, funny enough, I did a test run for a half marathon on Saturday, and in my true style, I got everything on and then looked and realized that I'd left the camera in the car, and the camera was about we're talking about half a kilometer down the road, because we're in central London, and I was about to run with a huge run club, including people I wanted to try and network the idea with. So I had no choice. So there I was with this camera rig and the empty selfie pole and everything strapped to me, batteries, everything stuck in my back, sprinting down the street to try and find to try and get to the camera in time. So and I can honestly say that was awful. As soon as I got back, I was like, well, the one thing I do know is that this thing is not made for sprinting. There's never going to be anyone that says, let's stick one of these guys and do a race. So we've learned that the hard way.
And I mean, there's a photo here. You've met Russ Cook.
Russ Cook, yeah. That
how did you meet him? Because he's only just finished his run across Africa, isn't he? Was that this weekend?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, we planned this idea to go and do this race because it was in central London and we could test the stream. And the stream itself is an incredible feat. Like to be able to get a consistent stream to 26 miles around London, central London on a busy day is going to be probably just as big of a feat as it will be as the run itself. So we needed to test that. But I found out 20 minutes before I started running in the first run club that that Russ Cook was going to be running at this run club in Clapham, and I thought, you know what, it's probably a good idea. I see if I can get to that. And it kind of worked out my mileage. So I ran through central London, went straight to Clapham. And funnily enough, as I was approaching, and probably a good thing that on Saturday we didn't have any sound linked up. So it was just the visuals. And I was saying to my friend who's running the sort of middleman, who's kind of like mission control for me, I can see 1,000 or so people about to take off. And I was like, I'm not in any position to sprint and catch up. And as I caught up to the group, realized that they started coming my way, and I turned around, ran with them. And next thing you know, I'm looking to my left and I'm running next to Russ Cook and a few of the guys running it. And even that, I was like, this is crazy. I don't know how this is happening. And then about 10 minutes later, and I dropped back into the pack a little bit because I didn't want to run at the pace that they all were. I was just running next to him. So I ran next to him and we had a little chat, and I sort of said to him, how are you getting on? And I was like, I'm assuming you're not planning any big races anytime soon. And he sort of casually said, yeah, no, not for me. He was like, I've got London next week, but that's it. And I was like, I love that. I mean, to Russ Cook, obviously to us, running a marathon is huge. But to a guy that's just run the length of Africa, I'd say running London Marathon is probably like, walking to your end of your back garden and back again. It's the way that he was just like, yeah, no runs coming up. I guess it's London Marathon, but yeah, nothing big. It's like, okay, great. But he's a lovely guy, really nice guy, like super down to earth for a guy. I mean, you can tell he's a guy that has been straight into the front of, like, he probably doesn't realize how world famous he is. I mean, he's been on his own running around Africa for a full year, and you can tell that because he just seemed like just any other nice normal chap. And you've got thousands of people queuing up to take photos, including this idiot here. So yeah.
I mean, he's ran the length of Africa, then he's gone and done that half marathon with you at the weekend, and now he's going to go do the London Marathon. The bloke must be mental. He must be
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, I mean, some people, especially from what I mean, I follow a lot of people and have been doing a lot of research when it comes to this, and I feel like when it comes to what the challenge I'm doing, a lot of the people that kind of inspire me to do this are, I think you gain a lot of inspiration from people who always go one step further. So I've tracked people that have done 20 marathons in 20 days, 11 marathons, 11 days. So all the while that I think this is going to be tough, I think I can't really complain because I'm doing one marathon with a bit more weight on me. But these guys, I mean, Russ Cook, look at what he's done. So there is an element there. You think, well, people like that, they're made of super tough stuff, and like they just don't see it as a big deal, which is good for them. Yeah.
Wow. Unbelievable. Now, listen, let's get some comments in, and then we're going to have a little chat about this weekend's game. I don't know what's happened to our other Cov fan that was joining us, Jack. He must be held up somewhere. But Ken, have we got any comments coming in?
Yeah, got quite a few comments actually coming in. Gar87, evening everybody. Hope all is good. Gordon Tullier, thank you, Ken, for the delivery today. Sorry, I missed it. Yeah, I delivered his mug today for him.
Oh, so wonderful.
Yeah, he's got all that. Lee Beckett, evening all. Julie Thomas, good evening, Julie. Good evening, Miles. Mark Cunningham, evening all. Cov Andy, good evening, people. Nation Radio, evening, Tarts. Well, that's nice.
Everyone just likes to say evening on our show, Joe.
Good evening, that's the one that says you looked a bit like Bruno Fernandes. Wayne Littlewood, my eyes are hurting with him wearing that top. Has to be an automatic fine to the statue appeal. Yeah.
Like it.
Neil Jack Whitehall. Cov Andy, my boss said to me today, I bet you've been on Monday with a sore head. I said see you Tuesday. He shook his head and walked away. I do all about the weekend. Good evening, Graham Cockrell. Evening all, Alison. Fair play to you, mate. Well done. That's for you, Joe, about the marathon. Scott Brownswood, come on, said you reckon we can do United 2-1. Now here's a man that's run the marathon before, Wayne Littlewood. He's done it before. He's not doing it this year, but he's done it previously. Good luck with the run. Sadly missing London this weekend. Have the best race. You will absolutely love it. Enjoy the crowd over Tower Bridge. It's just unbelievable.
Thank you very much.
He's had an operation. He's had a little operation, but instead of doing the London Marathon this year, he's going to be running New York in November.
Wow.
And he's invited all of us lot. He's invited all of us lot to go over with him. He's paying for the hotel. He's paying for the flights and everything. We're going over. Yeah.
Wow.
We're in the meantime, we're booking all holidays. So thanks very much for that, Wayne. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, cheers, Wayne. Yeah, we're looking forward to that trip to New York.
Wayne Vaughan,
I'm going to go see the Ghostbusters house while he's running the marathon.
Wayne Vaughan, good evening, Wayne. Fair play, Joe. All the best for the marathon, buddy.
Thank you.
Graham Cockrell, good luck, Joe. Wayne Vaughan, when people have conditions, we're all one, no matter who you support. That's right, that is. We all come together as football fans, no matter who you support. Mark Cunningham, good evening, Mark. Joe, good luck with the run, fundraising, but not for the game. I think we all agree with that. Adam Shaw, has anybody heard anything about Garnacho liking a post questioning Ten Hag tactics? Ten Hag didn't like that. The more drama they have, the better. Yeah, I've seen a bit about that in the paper.
Really?
But Garnacho's put something on social media about his manager. I suppose his manager's not, so he might be involved at the weekend because obviously he won't like that. I did see a bit like that in the paper. So apparently, social media, he has put some sort of post up criticising the manager. So Tony. I don't think so, Tony.
Tony, he can't even walk down the road to the pub when we're in Middlesbrough, let alone run a marathon.
Yeah, we'll skip by that one. Maybe a few years ago, when it was a bit slimmer. Not now. Anyone going to the march, to the arch before the match? Yeah, there is a march. So. Yeah, I think there is one from the Green Man pub, I believe.
Yeah, hope so.
Wayne Littlewood's come back on. Dill, you do the last show in your pants, and I'll pay for New York. Well, how about that?
Done it then. Done it. Only if we win the FA Cup, though. Only if we win the FA Cup. Done deal, that is. Wear me pants to go to New York. Why not?
Dan Watkins, forget about them. Get the marathon. Let's talk about City stuff in United.
We will in a minute, Gavin. We wanted Joe to talk about his fundraising first. Come on, Gavin.
Yeah. They want to get stuck into it. That's the thing. They want to get stuck in.
Yeah, they do want to get stuck in.
National radio, they're all called Snickers nowadays.
Very funny. There's always one, isn't there?
Come Andy, run a marathon. I would get out of breath eating one. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's up to date with all the. That's up to date with all the messages so far.
Brilliant. Oh, Darren has come in and says sorry, lads. That's all right, Darren. That's not a problem. Right, come on in, guys. Let's have a little chat. Now, I'm still waiting on Jack. Not sure what's happened. It's probably something's come up and he hasn't been able to get on. But let's have a little chat then. Wembley semi-final this week. Joe, we'll come to you first. Man United sitting, sixth in the table. Had a bit of a shocker again at the weekend against Bournemouth. But tell us City fans that haven't really seen much of Man United how the season has been panning out. Because for some reason you're still in sixth, yet you haven't been playing fantastic, have you?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you how really. I mean, I was speaking to a few friends recently about it, and I think I said the other day, being like, I can't believe Chelsea are on our heels now. I think if they win their next two, we're on level points, which don't know how that's turned around. I mean, they've started playing good football, to be fair. I saw what happened last night. But from our perspective, we've been lucky. We have been lucky in so many situations. Last minute goals. I feel like if you look at our team and you're relying on people like Scott McTominay to get your last minute winners, and he's your saving grace. I mean, loads of times. I mean, I'm a big fan of him. I rate him. I think he's a great player, and I think he's a great sort of 60-minute sub. But he's come on a fair few times and pulled us out of a dodgy situation. But unfortunately, the state of play is that we've got. And as you've just spoke about with the thing of Garnacho, we are plagued by just constant drama. And I know we have to put aside the things that happen in the press and take things with a pinch of salt. But, I'm sure you guys are the same. But you don't really want to be listening to the stuff about your club, about what players happen to say. You just want to see people playing the right kind of football on the pitch. And there have been times this season where I think you point at a couple players and think, I'd love to keep them. But the rest of them, they don't earn their keep for most of the time. It's very, very frustrating to watch. I mean, don't get me wrong. There has been some very, very positive things, and that Liverpool game is something that I think I'll always remember, because there's nothing better than beating Liverpool, especially and knocking them out the cup. And I sent a picture of a picture of Jurgen Klopp's face after that game to my friends, and that is perfectly imprinted on my mind for a long time. So it doesn't matter how shit we are, which we seem to be. It's quite funny to see those things happen. And but yeah, I'd love to say that I could point at the situation and say I know how to solve it. But just as you start to think that, I mean, commentators all season have said things like, United are trying to take a turn now, and they'll come good and that kind of thing. But then they go shit again, and it is hard to watch. So as far as this weekend goes, I said to you when I saw you in person, Miles, I can't say that I go into it feeling very confident. I think it could lend itself to be a good game of football, but we don't have really much momentum going into it, so we'll just have to see.
How about your manager? Do you think he'll still be there next year? Do you rate him? I mean, he's the right man for the job. You know what?
It's the classic age-old question, is it, to United fan at the minute? It's even us United fans talk about all the time. But from my perspective, and I'm sure there's many that disagree with me, I wouldn't get rid of him. I really wouldn't. There's decisions that I look at and think I wouldn't really do that. But there has been decisions and things that he's done. You think, well, that was bold. I mean, his choice of what he did, what he chose to do and his tactics, albeit very bold against Liverpool, you'd look back and think, well, fair enough. I mean, to make a choice and say stick your lump of a defender, the slab that is Harry Maguire up front, stick him up there, and then drop Bruno back as the centre back to be a playmaker along the back line. Fantastic. I mean, it's a bold move to make against Liverpool, but it bloody well paid off. And he does make some choices. I think that's pretty good. But I'm a believer that I don't really want Man United to turn into this club that just constantly keeps recycling managers because after a couple of seasons it doesn't work. Because let's face it, if we went with that mentality, we'd have never had some of the great days. We'd never seen what Fergie went on to do, because when he started out, he wasn't winning straight away. So it's just I don't want to get rid of him. Not when you've got players in our team that have just got an awful attitude. It's hard. You can't point the manager and say he is the main problem.
But you got new owners now. That, I mean, they might be a bit ruthless and say, look, if you carry on having bad results, then we'll get rid of you because they're investing their money, aren't they? That's
it. And they might be applying a bit of pressure. Maybe that's what he needs. But at the same time, I'm hoping that the bosses above are now just looking at losing the dead weight, looking at players that you've kind of taken a punt on, thinking that's all well and good, and start to lose the players that just aren't pulling their weight. I mean, the problem is the players are changing and players' ages aren't helping. Like, look at people like somebody like Casemiro, who last season, when Casemiro came in and Martinez came in, you'd have said that at the end of the season, you just said they were clearly the best players in the team. Their work rate was incredible. They were immaculate. Like on the ball, they were perfect. They were bold. They were exactly what you want to see your team doing. But Casemiro just got, sloppy. I saw some critics talking about the game at the weekend, and I think it was Jamie Carragher described him. I don't know if you saw it. Jamie Carragher described him as a guy Jamie Redknapp saying that he looked like he and that was such a good way of putting it. And I think one of the other pundits was like, "Oh, soccer is a bit harsh," but it did. He looked lackluster, and it's like you can't have a central defensive midfielder who's slow on the uptake and not putting the time and effort in. Whereas you put somebody like McTominay in, who's apparently meant to be used to just coming on after 60 minutes every game. You haven't got somebody like Kobbie Mainoo, who is not just going to be a great player for Man U, but for England. He's not learning from the right kind of players. Even Bruno, anyone can admit, as much as his attitude can be shit and he can be a little prick to watch, and that's from a Man United fan. He is a really good footballer. He's
one of those players that annoy you if you're not in this team, but you want him on your side, don't you?
Yeah, of course. I thought the same of Anthony. I thought when Anthony joined, I kept saying to people, he's one of those guys that if you support the team, you kind of smile and say, he's a little, I don't mind he's being my team, but anybody else. But I think that switched, and now even United fans don't really like him.
Darren's come in. He said he's heard a lot of Man U fans worrying about where your defensive is like really down to the bare bones. You mentioned Harry Maguire going up front because you wanted to win a game, but you're talking about Casemiro there and Harry Maguire. They're not the quickest players on the pitch on Sunday. How do you think they're going to cope with the physical aspect? You probably don't know much about Coventry City, but we've got a big lad in Ellis Sims, was at Everton. He's over, I think he's 6'3", and he can something like that. He's really becoming very, very physical. We've got Hadji Wright, who's pretty quick. How do you think they're going to fare with so many defensive worries at Man United at the weekend?
Yeah, that's the thing, and it's defensively we are so short-staffed, aren't we? Really, you can see that. We brought back Johnny Evans back from the dead, and fair play to him when he comes on the pitch. God, he plays well, like he knows the game. He really knows the game. But we are clinging to our options. But in a normal day, I would go into it saying if we had Varane at the back and we had Martinez next to him with Luke Shaw on the left, I wouldn't be worried, because I personally think that they prove themselves as a really good little group. But any striker is going to look at. Sorry, 1 second. My laptop's just gone a bit strange. You still there? Yeah. Any striker is going to look at a partnership with Harry Maguire, and whether it's Evans or I don't know who we're going to have fit. I really don't know who we're going to have fit in center of defense, and I think they'll love it. Look at how many shots we're giving away. Our defensive records at the minute and stats at the minute are absolutely shocking. developed. We've shown some quite nice flair on the wings. People like Garnacho, Hoyland, Mainu, unbelievable player. But that's all well and good. But when your back defense just opens a door, and the goals that we gave away against Bournemouth, I mean, shocking. The defense is shocking. I think your team will be you'll be looking forward to it.
Well, I'm sure. I know United have had a couple of. Steve McLaren's been the last couple of Coventry games, which have been a bit dodgy for us. But I'm sure they've done well. Try and do their own work, won't they? But I just think if United rock up on the day and think it's going to be an easy game, I think they might have a bit of a shock. Because I always believe at cup matches, anything can happen. Anything can happen. But no matter who you are, it's down to on the day. If you're not up for it on the day, then you can get turned over.
How's your defense been? I mean, I completely admit I haven't watched a lot of commentary, but how's your defense? Because I mean,
it
lately,
was brilliant on Saturday, wasn't it?
Not very good on Saturday.
What happened?
All the game before. Well, I think you know what Saturday.
Let in 3 goals.
The worst they've played Saturday, to be honest. The worst I've seen most of the games this season, like Miles has, and that's the worst they've played home and away, I think. And I think most of them had an eye on the game on Sunday. They didn't want to get injured. They didn't want to put a foot in and get tackled because they're way below power on Saturday. No, I've not seen them play like that for a long time. So I was quite surprised, So let's just put it down to a little blip, and maybe they all did have their eye on Sunday, and hopefully they'll make up for it Sunday and put in a good performance because they need to play. They need to play a hell of a lot better than they did on Saturday to get anything, against Man United. So,
there might be a world where I feel like over the past couple of years, I've found myself watching FA Cup games, big games. Back in the day when you used to think it's the FA Cup semi-final, but you find yourself sometimes watching FA Cup semi-finals. I don't know if it's a Wembley thing where they're just these kind of mundane, pity-patty football games. I mean, obviously the Liverpool Man United game was completely opposite, and even the other game a fair lot of action. But if both defenses are a little bit leaky, I mean, United's are way more than just a little bit leaky, then it could make itself to be quite. I don't think anyone's going to be locking down the defense, and it's going to be a boring game. I think it'd be quite an eventful game.
No, I mean our game against Wolves, our quarter-final against Wolves was brilliant, 3-2. That was an exciting game end to end. Yeah. And then so I think most of the quarter-finals were quite good, apart from the Man City game. I think they only won 1-0, didn't they, or 2-0? That was quite a 2-0, wasn't it? But yeah. So I mean, I will firmly believe it's down to on the day, as I did in '87 when we were way back in '87 when we went to the cup final. '87 we played Tottenham. Obviously, we beat Leeds in the semi-final. Played Tottenham, and nobody gives a chance against Tottenham because they had internationals in their side, like Ardiles and Hoddle, Waddle, Ray Clements in goal. And we had no internationals at all, you know what I mean? So hardly anybody knew our players, but and we went and won. So
I've watched that game back, and I've watched that game back on VHS. If I'm honest with you, because
VHS video.
My old man's a Tottenham fan.
Is he?
Yeah, I remember watching these games.
And they all expected Tottenham fans as, we're going to win easy, this, that, and the other, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen. They got turned over, and that's what happens. And that's football. We all know football's down to on the day, isn't it?
And let's face it. I mean, we hope for a good game, and I honestly do. I said I really hope for a good game. I like cup football. I don't want cup football to be this thing that people, managers start chucking in B teams because it's a cup game and they're trying to reserve the. I don't want any of that. I want it to be the FA Cup like it used to be. Yeah. And I really hope for a good game on Sunday, and I think both teams are aware that irrelevant the winner. Yeah, you're probably. I mean, of course, the City, they might be an upset, but you'd assume that we're going to go through to play probably the best club in the world because City, Man City they really are. And when they play football, they play another league football. They play, and that's coming from a Man United fan. I'm sure.
I mean, they can put two sides out, can't they? And beat anyone.
Yeah, I mean, I watched their highlights at the weekend, and I was speaking to some friends about it, and the thing is, all of their players are immaculately good. I mean, players that you think they just, you don't see much of them. Like, I mean, before this weekend, if you'd have said Doku, he wouldn't have been the first person I start talking about when it comes to Man City, but he was electric at the weekend. Like, these players are another league. So, again, when
Phil Foden never even played at the weekend, and they wouldn't, he didn't even come on the pitch.
Yeah.
So,
Well, listen, now you mentioned 1987 there, Ken, and now, Joe, I've got to bring this up because on our run-up to Wembley final in '87,
we
played Man United and we beat them.
Yeah.
Right? Not only that, we beat them the following year as well. So I've got 2 little clips for everyone. Okay, you ready?
Go.
Here we go.
He just can't quite make himself a space. Downs. Phillips for Houchen. Oh, it might fall for the Coventry man. It's in. 20 minutes gone. And Coventry take the lead through Keith Houchen, the man whose penalty for York City defeated Arsenal in the 4th round of the FA Cup 2 seasons ago. Well, Regis battling for space on that far side. It was Downs who finally knocked the ball in, then it fell to Phillips, and finally to Houchen, and with Turner on the floor, Coventry finally forced it into the roof of the net. And now what can Manchester United do?
I was there behind that goal. Yeah.
Was that you doing that? Was that you in the fences? No, that was in '87. This was the following year.
Smith. Bannister's in the middle. Phillips is in the middle. Speedy is coming up quickly for Coventry. Can Smith get it across? He's got problems because Robson's also arrived. But here's Smith again. Bannister looking to shoot on the turn. A fine goal for Coventry. And Leighton is beaten at last with a splendid shot on the turn by Gary Bannister. After some excellent work on that far touchline by Smith, I thought he must have lost it when Robson arrived. But he took the ball in there. Here's Bannister. McGrath at the back of him, and a lovely shot on the turn just inside the post. And from this angle again, Bannister. There's the shot on the turn. Ball in the net.
Wow.
There you go. And
great memory
for Old Trafford.
Yeah, great memories there. So we haven't played United for quite a long time, so be interesting. Yeah, be interesting.
I've got another clip. But I'm not showing that one till Thursday. There are 2 clips coming up, but that's for Thursday's show. So you'll all.
Is there any players, Joe, that you know about Cov that might think? Do you know anything? Have you seen us play this year at all?
I haven't. I felt. Come on, be honest with you, I haven't actually seen. I mean, I haven't seen them play. No.
So you don't know much about our players. So that'd be good. Might surprise you then.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, as I said, it wasn't until for some reason in my head I thought that I had it in my head that it was a later kickoff than 3:30 because part of my planning for once I get the race done is to go somewhere and I haven't had a drink. I haven't had I haven't had a beer or anything like that since 2023. So there was a part of me that had this kind of a nice vision of enjoying the first drink in a while watching the game. But I have a feeling that by the time that I'm done and moved, and it might well be over. So there is a point on my mind. I might stick it on the radio in my ears and trying to zone out from the last bit of the running. But who knows? I don't know if I want to objectify the people that have tuned in live to listen to the language that comes out my mouth when I tune in and find out we're either losing or hear a goal go in, because my partner has to put up with that half the time anyway. She does, the people online who are tuned in for a good cause don't need to hear that.
Yeah.
You mentioned a later kickoff. Originally, it was going to be a later kickoff, but because we were going to be on the Saturday, but because both teams have to come from one from the Midlands, obviously ourselves, and then Man United, there was worries about train services. So they switched the Chelsea to Man City to the Saturday, which is a later kickoff. I think that's 5:15, isn't it, Ken? I think.
Yeah,
something like that. Or 5:45.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And because the London Marathon's on, they moved ours back to 3:30, and it makes it easier for them as well to move a fixture on a Sunday because of TV broadcasting and things like that. So, if they had left it to a later kickoff on the Sunday, apparently the last train back from Euston to Manchester is 8:50, something daft on a Sunday, and the last train back to Coventry is something like 10:20. So there would have been 2 lots of fans, if it had gone to extra time and penalties, rushing to the train stations to get home, and not everyone might have got home. So that's why they moved it to a 3:30 on the Sunday.
Yeah.
It's all to do. Yeah, they have things like that to sort out. So, but yeah, you probably would have made it. Well, you still might make it. What time does your run start?
Well, I think I start running at about 11.
Okay.
I can't. I mean, I don't know. Let's see. There's a world that I might be done by 3:34ish, but the problem is there's so many people, especially around that kind of time, that you're in central London. You spend half an hour wading through crowds and doing all the things you need to do. Then you finally get to where you're going. I mean, if I'm in a pub celebrating and feeling like it's all over by 5 o'clock, I'll feel lucky. And then again, I'll be walking into a pub where I can imagine there'll be a fair few people there. So the idea of me walking in, people patting me on the back and me being like quieting down and watching the football for the next 10 minutes, I just don't see me getting away with it. But it will be in my mind. And as I said, if I feel confident enough and brave enough, then I might well stick it on. Because actually on my camera setup and on my camera rig, I've got a phone holder, which gives me a chance to see some of the chats.
You could watch it live.
I could probably put it on, but again, we're back into the same argument of I don't really want people to listen to the things that come out of my mouth when we do badly. It's not pleasant.
It might get you a few more pennies.
It might. Yeah, I guess I could become a charity case of help this poor sad Man United fan who's watching his team lose at Wembley whilst he's trying to do something good. Who knows? But
Brilliant.
we'll see.
Brilliant. Ken, any more comments?
Yeah, I've got quite a few comments to catch up on. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Darren Watkins, do not write off Coventry off. Man United is definitely a winnable game. This is the FA Cup. We all love. Anything can happen. Yeah, quite agree there, Darren. I've heard a lot of Man United fans word about defenders who's injured and who's not, which, yes, we discussed that. They've got quite a lot of injuries, United, so we're not sure what sort of team they will put out. What time are you on Friday? From Friday from the White Horse, we're 7:30. We're live. If you get there about 7, if you want to pop down to the White Horse and see us in Leamington, we're doing a live. We're doing a live stream from there, so that'll be a good night. Wayne Vaughan, did anyone see the Chelsea penalty debacle? At least we do rock paper scissors. Yeah, I've seen it. It was one of the Chelsea players trying to take it off Cole Palmer, weren't he?
They're all fighting over. I think there's 3 of them fighting over it in the end.
Fair play to the young lad. Fair play to Cole Palmer. He said no.
Yeah, I saw that. That was impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. Aside from that, he's an impressive player, isn't he? I mean,
he's a fantastic player.
He's a fantastic. Yeah.
He made a gamble, didn't he, by leaving Man City to go to Chelsea because he wasn't playing, and now he's playing and he scored like 20-odd goals for Chelsea this season.
Yeah, joint top scorer with Erling Haaland. I mean, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, he's got a lot of penalties.
Bang 4 in, didn't he, yesterday?
Yeah, and he's got to be on the plane to Germany, surely, for England. I think so.
You would hope so.
Yeah, that's this combination of Friday night, 7:30 p.m. live on YouTube. Come down to the White Horse for 7 o'clock. Kimberly Owen, good evening, Kimberly. I'm looking forward to the trip to Wembley. Yes, we all are, Kimberly. Yes, might see you down there. Ralph Wiggins, evening, folks. Good luck with your run. My son-in-law, Jolene Velasquez, is also running in the marathon. All right, so good luck to him.
Say hello. Say hello to each other.
There you go.
Yes. Yeah. Catty Cats, good evening. Man United won't know what's hit them. Yeah, well, let's hope so.
That's my cousin, Joe.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Tony from Nation Radio is not going. Instead, he's going to let fireworks off outside the United Hotel.
Yeah, I thought he was going to stay at home and eat a marathon.
That Gary Bannister goal, Old Trafford was a league game in 1989, apparently.
Yeah, that's what I said. It was the year after because it was the season after because we had the Hummel kit on.
Yes,
it was the season after, Tony.
Just
go and eat a marathon.
Adam Shaw, normally the underdogs have a chance, but I can't see United beating us. Well, Adam.
The underdogs have a chance, but I can't see us beating us. They're saying Man United are the underdogs.
To be fair, if the way that we're playing, I could see us being on. I'll take that. I'll accept that.
Wow. Yeah. The pressure's on United. There's no doubt about that, isn't it? The pressure's on.
Massively.
We've got nothing to lose at the end of the day. Lee Beckett, after watching Chelsea last night, I'm glad we got United. Assassin's Unite, go for it, City. Okay, that's us up to date with all the comments, Miles.
Brilliant. Right, we're just going to take a quick ad break because we got carried away, and then we'll be straight back. Just bear with us.
Sky Blue Fans TV, for the fans, by the fans.
Yeah, welcome back to Sky Blue Fans TV. I'm Miles Cannon. We've got Ken Stewart, who's been my top right-hand corner. And we've got Jay Ramsden below us. He's running the London Marathon on Sunday for charity, carrying a live webcam, 360 degrees, and you can watch him while you're stuck in traffic on your way to Wembley. And he's our Man United fan for tonight, which is our first Wembley special. And we have another show coming up this Thursday as well. Now, just a little bit of housekeeping before we carry on. I've got a few little things to show you coming up. Don't forget, George and John statue appeal. Head over to the appeal there. Get onto the GoFundMe page. Just donate a £5. It's not even a pint of beer at Wembley Stadium. Blimey, I think they don't even have draft beer at Wembley. So give us a £5. Come on, get your £5s in. Let's get this statue all ready for next May outside the old Superstore. And there's a Sky Blue in the community account number there. And this Friday, we are live from the White Horse in Leamington Spa. We've done it over in Coventry. Ken decided, let's have it in Leamington. Why not? It's close to Miles, and he can get the bus in and have a couple of beers instead of having to drive 20-odd mile away to get to Coventry. And everyone says we're too far, and it's 7 miles from Coventry, Leamington. So come on, get down to the old White Horse. We're in the front bar there. The front door's just there. You can see it. And you can get down there for 7 o'clock. We start for around about 7:30, which is going to be brilliant stuff. It's going to be a great night. So there we go. Right, that's the housekeeping done. Now, I've got a little, where is it? Oh, I love this picture. I'm going to show you this picture, guys. I love this by the FA. And guess who's leading the pack? Oh, Ellis Sims is at the front. There you go. That says it all, doesn't it?
He's carrying
who's going to win the FA Cup.
He's carrying his hat-trick ball again.
I love that. They're going up the escalator on the underground.
He's carrying his hat-trick ball again. I know, it's brilliant, isn't it? It's really good. Yeah. Love that. Absolutely love it. Now, Joe, have you heard of Tom Grennan?
The musical is a singer, is he?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have. Yeah, I have heard of him. Yeah.
Now, he's an adopted son of Coventry. So his manager is from Coventry, and he's an adopted son. He loves us to bits. He thinks we're amazing. And he's been on his stag do. Here they are in Las Vegas. They're flying back tomorrow. Tom Grennan there with a load of Cov lads who go to the games with Tom and John. And they are celebrating their stag do. And they're coming home tomorrow, getting ready for Wembley. So I thought I'd bring that one up. And then nice. ITV, here you go. I don't know if you've seen this, everybody. ITV this Sunday, 2:30. Kick off 3:30. So we have Mark
Pugash.
Yeah, Pugash, Ian Wright, Laura Woods, Karen Carney, Roy Keane, and our very own Gary McSheffrey. Hey, what about that? That's a lineup and a half, isn't it? Hey, can't beat that, can you? So that's the ITV.
I think I think there's a chance. I think I'm working with Roy Keane on next Tuesday. So depending on the result, it could be worth a mention or not a mention. I don't know whether we want to get.
Wow, where are you working with him then? If we can ask that,
No, we're doing a shoot, like a content shoot, something for, I think, for the NFL, and Roy's quite a big NFL fan from what I'm told. So I think the word was today we went on the recce to just have a look around where we were going to be and where we're going to shoot. But it looks like that was the talk of the town, was that it was going to be Roy Keane who was going to come down for an hour or so to do a bit of filming with us. So that'll be interesting. It'll be nice to see him, nice to meet him.
Fantastic. Oh, I like that. That's a great story. And now listen, we have someone's just mentioned Josh Eccles, so I've got to say this. Let's hope ITV don't do this weekend.
Second half, but all it has taken is one chance again for Haji Wright for his 40th goal of the season. It came from Jack Saunders on the right hand side. He played the ball to Wright on the.
Now that was Jock Eckness. I'll get that clip. I love that clip. So that was right, Joe. Our player's called Josh Eccles.
Yeah.
And that's the Sky pundit at the ground against Watford, and he's gone Jock Eckness. They never even heard of the bloke. Who's Jock Eckness? Never heard of him. So
and he just passed it as if he hadn't said it as well, just tried to cover over. Brilliant.
I know, yeah. I know. We just don't. ITV don't do that this weekend. And
it's a bit. I'll say something about ITV because they covered our last game against Wolves, which was very lucky for us.
And ITV, and Maidstone.
Yes, and they've got the semi-final as well. So it might be a little bit of luck there. The ITV again.
Yeah. Have Man United got a yellow kit they can wear at the weekend?
No, I don't think they do. I don't know what we'll wear. Probably we'll wear. What do you? I mean, you guys are blue, but I mean, surely they'll.
Yeah, I don't think. I think we're both wearing our home kits from what I take it. No colour.
The reason we played Oxford, they wore yellow. We played Sheffield Wednesday away, but they wore blue. But when they came to play the replay, they wore yellow. Then we played Maidstone, they wore yellow. And then we played Wolves, they wore gold. So we were hoping that Man United might just decide to wear a yellow kit.
You guys have got... You're lining up all the superstitions, aren't you, for the weekend? You've got memories of the 80s. You've got kit colours. You know what? Just for that sake, I hope that United turn up in this green shirt on Sunday, just to really get under your skin a little bit.
Right. Before we go, we've got about another 7 minutes to go. Ken, have we got any more comments?
Yes. Grant Murray, nice to see all the negative people are staying away from this podcast. Come on, Sky Blues. Be great to see Eccles get a goal on Sunday. As long as we play with some heart, I'll be happy. Asens United. Robbins needs to go with a 4-4-2. Tavares on the right, O'Hare on the left, Eccles and Sheaf in the middle, Simpson right up front, and feed them. Yeah.
Feed them.
Catty Cat is waiting for his favourite guest. Oh. Who's that then? Wayne Vaughan, Southampton won up, are they? Ooh, got a chance, Southampton. Paul Hughes, good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Paul.
Kenatomo, hope Ellis isn't offside.
No, he won't be offside. He won't be offside. I'll tell you something though. I think if we score first, I think it could be a very entertaining game. But if we score first, we don't want VAR to take about 5 minutes to decide.
Well, I was about to say that. What's your views on VAR, Joe?
Oh yeah, here we go.
Because we don't have it. We don't have it in the Championship. You have it in the Premier League all the time. We're new to it, really. I
mean, I'd say you live in the dream. I spoke to somebody not long ago somebody I was working with who was a Southampton fan, and I sort of said, "How's your season going?" I can't say I was checking in on it, and he said, "It's joy." And I was like, "Oh yeah, doing well then, are you?" And he said, "It's just because there's no VAR." And I was like, that is a really good point, because you go back to football as football was before, and none of this football. There's been times where VAR's helped. There's been times where VAR's been bad. I get all of that. I get all of the arguments to and from and against. But the worst thing about the whole thing is that in a game of VAR, you don't get to celebrate anymore. Even if the goal is so clearly onside and there was no handballs, there was no, like, in the back of your mind when that ball hits the net, you're half celebrating every single time. You're half celebrating, and I find that really difficult, because you know, it only happens once. It happens once, maybe like a year or so again, where you've celebrated, you think everything's going great, and then the whistle goes and it's changed, and it's kind of ruined. It's ruined that impact. It's ruined that excitement. It's ruined one of the things that football is football. And I hate to say it, whether you like it or not, or whether you're on the receiving end and you don't like it. But even back in the day, the controversial decisions where, you know, a cup game happens and you win the game, and deep down, you know, that could have gone in your favor against you. Like, that's football. That is football. Like, it's not this, you know. And
we all criticise referees, but we used to get used to their decisions. And once they give a goal in the Championship, it's the goal. We can celebrate. In the Premier League, you can't. You might have to hang around for 5 minutes before they decide if they can, you know, cancel it off for whatever reason.
That must be quite interesting for you guys and for other teams in the league below the Premier League, because you are stepping into that world that we have to deal with every single week. That kind of is it or isn't it kind of thing, and staring at linesmen or waiting for a decision. It really does slow and spoil the games, I must say.
Yeah, we had it at Wolves, didn't we, Miles?
Oh my God. So,
6 minutes,
so
I think.
nearly 6 minutes. Nearly 6 minutes, Joe, who scored in the second half, took the lead, and VAR tried everything to find a fault with the goal, so we didn't go 1-0 up against Wolves. They were trying everything, because when you watch the replay back and you watch it on the telly when you get back, how long it took them to see if the ball struck the arm, if he moved his arm towards the ball, if it come off his chest, bounced up, whatever. They tried everything to rule that first goal without being allowed. And we were stood there, and it was like, come on, this is taking forever. It should be, if it takes longer than 60 seconds to make a decision, that's it, it's a goal. It should be. You should know. You've got six people in the room watching telly, right? From all different angles. You could sit. Surely it doesn't take 6 people 6 minutes or 5 minutes to make a decision. You should know within a minute if it's a goal.
I agree.
Or not.
My old man's got a really interesting point of view on it, and he always says that the way to decide is that the referee goes, you know, if the referee has to go over and look at the screen, the referee goes over, but what they show them is the referee gets to see the incident back 3 times, and it's only ever played at live time. It shouldn't be slowed down or anything, because that's not the game. Like, the referee, if the referee missed something and the third umpire, as it were, the VAR guys say, look, go to the screen, have a look. Then it's like, cool, you've got 3 chances to see it at lifetime, to make your decision, because that's a referee's job. But this, you know, some of these situations, like, it can't really be judged at ridiculously slow motion. It's not really. It doesn't work like that. Don't get me wrong. There's always extenuating circumstances. If there's like a handball that nobody saw, but actually quite clearly stopped the ball from going in the goal with his hand, there are probably things that, but again, I'm a big rugby fan as well. And you see the way that the rugby game how it works in there. And there's this level of respect, which football and the players don't have as much for the referee, but most of the time, a referee, an alert goes off in the referee's ear. The referee says, cool, let's have a little look. And what the referee does is makes his decision on what he sees on the screen. And then if he needs to, he just sort of confirms with the other officials and say, look, I'm thinking this. Am I right in thinking that? Is there any reason why I shouldn't be thinking that? Yes, no, maybe. Game continues. And rugby is a game of stop and start, but for some reason it just happens like clockwork, whereas football does this long deliberation of umming and ahhing and who's done this and job saving. It's like job justification, and also you're into this world where the pundits can't blame the referees. They can't be seen to say this. There's a lot of eggshells we tread on when it comes to
VAR. Even managers can't slag off the referees anymore without being fined. It's just got it's just. I mean, Ken's a referee.
I'm a local referee, but I have to make a decision on my own on a Sunday morning. I haven't got no line nose. I've got no fourth official. I've got no. I have to give it as I see it, and I'm not always perfect. I might make mistakes, but I say to them before. I say, look, I might make a mistake like you will on the pitch if you make a bad pass, but that's football. I give what I see. I don't deliberately make a mistake. I just give what I see, and that's all I can do.
Ken, you should, just for a laugh, you should get somebody at the sidelines to film a bit on their phone, and then when something happens, you should clutch the ear, go running over to their phone, and stand at their phone for 10 minutes, umming and ahhing.
That'd go viral. Hey, Ken, I'll come and do that one day. I'll come and do it.
It would go viral.
Have we got any more comments before we call it a night and give Joe one last punt on his promoting his run on Sunday.
Yeah, Mark Cunningham. Sorry, Joe, but that shirt looks like a barcode.
Fair enough.
Sorry, Joe.
No, it's like a Liverpool shirt, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, Carlon, isn't
Newcastle.
VAR coming to the Championship next year? Is it coming next year?
Well, there are rumours it is coming, yeah, but
Well, I hope not.
well,
I hope not. But we'll have to
it
wait
nearly
and see.
helped us in the playoffs last year, though, didn't it?
Yeah, it can go in your favour, but it's just all the waiting around, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Wayne, 5 minutes Wolves, yes, exactly, Matt Wayne, far too long. Coventry, the ref gave the goal and VR got involved. Yeah, ref gave the goal because he'd seen nothing wrong with it, and then VR got involved trying to find out a fault with it.
Yeah,
but it should have been left to the left to the on-field referee. He made the decision at the end of the day, and it was proved right in the end.
Yeah.
Whereas VAR when O'Hare nearly got his head taken off. Well, yeah, there were areas to be seen then. We had a really bad tackle, a high tackle on one of our players, and amazingly, VAR never even got involved. Normally, that would have been a red card, but bizarrely, I don't know why. They never got involved. Catty Cat, are you from Manchester, Joe? Tell us how
don't even answer that, Joe. Don't even answer that.
No, I was going to say, like 95% of most Man United fans, I'm from down south and proud of it.
Tell us how you got involved supporting Man United then. How did you become a Man United fan? Or was it through family and...
Basically kind of through family, although my old man's a Spurs fan and he reminds me every single day that he wanted me to support Spurs. But I grew up in the Midlands, so my closest town was Grimsby. My closest club was Grimsby Town. I went to see them very, very regularly. But when I grew up and I was at that age, my older brother supported Man United, and it was in the glory days. It was when if you were young and you were impressionable and you played football, and I played football a lot. The team that
Fergie days.
Of course, yeah. I had the old school red sharp Man United jersey, and I played that every time I played football. I'd wear that, and grew up watching Beckham and Scholesy and Giggsy, and Ollie Solskjaer was one of my favourite players across the board when I was growing up. So it's like that's kind of where it all came from. So I've stuck with them, and I'm happy to say I stick with them through and through. As opposed, I'm not jumping ship. I could have jumped if I was a Glory supporter, I'd have a blue shirt on right now, but I don't. Yeah. So. And I'm fully supporting. I'm fully happy to say that we are pretty crap, but I'll still stick with the boys. So yeah, that's it. But
should be a good time to play you then. Do you think?
Oh yeah. I think you guys are going to be all good. One thing I did find I thought you might find amusing. Obviously, they've been talking about the new stadium, what they're going to do, and United was put a release out saying that if United did do that, then United would have to play in Wembley, and then they released something saying if we did play, if they were going to play in Wembley, then they've said that they'd subsidise the travel for United fans to go up and down the country. And somebody very cleverly put subsidise the travel up down north. All they'd need to do is buy them a London travel card, and that would do it.
Brilliant! I love it. Absolutely. All right, let's get some scores. Come on, let's get some scores in. We're going to do this over the next few nights. So. Ken, do you want to give a score and you might change your mind over the next couple of nights?
No, I'm not going to change my mind. I'll stick with it, I think. There'll be plenty of goals. I think it's going to be exciting. A lot of drama. I'm going for 3-2 Cov win.
Wow.
Ooh. Just like the Wolves game.
Wow.
3-2.
I'd love to see it.
Joe, what about yourself?
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be 2-1 Coventry. I think it's going to be 2-1 Coventry. But
wow.
Yeah, I could see
that'll signal the end for the manager, surely, wouldn't it?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. Maybe. It really depends. It might well do. It might, but then again, surely the management, the people at Man United are not thinking that all of our eggs are in one basket for the FA Cup, because if we beat Coventry, we've got City or Chelsea to beat, based on form at the minute, you wouldn't go into that game expecting us to win, especially if we're struggling to draw with Bournemouth, then you can't go into that game expecting that we should be winning. So I don't get that, but we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. This might all be. Yeah. It might all be hush hush, and it might be a foregone conclusion. They may already have their eyes set, or it might be like most of the seasons of United, where we'll get to the summer, they won't really do a large amount of things, and we'll kind of just let it tick on by. I really couldn't tell you. I hope we don't get rid of him. I'd like to see him stick around and just give him a chance to just do a little bit more. But with a manager that brings in players like Wout Weghorst, you've got to start asking questions.
Yeah. Wow.
Now someone's put. Well, I was going to go 3-2, but I can't copy. But someone's put my score up. Alison Berry's gone 4-3. I think this game's going to be. I think this game's going to be a goal fest.
Really?
I just think it's going to be. I do, yeah. I think it's going to be brilliant. I think it's going to be. It's just going to be end to end. Everyone, both teams are just going to be full of mistakes, especially after the last couple of games for us. And our goalkeeper flaps. If Tom Vlad Collins is playing, so he flaps a bit like your goalkeeper as well. So. I think it could be a high-scoring game this, and everyone's going to be talking about it for a long time because no one ever talks about semi-finals, and I think they'll talk about this one.
Yeah, 4-3, Alison. 3-1, Mark Cunningham. Cov Andy says 2-1. Dave Saunders says 3-1, Cov. So
there you go. Right, well, that's the end of the first special show this evening. Joe, give us one big last push where people can find you Sunday if they want to watch you on YouTube for the London Marathon, and how they can donate, please.
Great. So I think there's a link below, but if you click on the link or if you go onto YouTube, you'll find the channel for Ready Steady Joe. And on there is we'll have all the details you need. But if you go onto there, there's a Just Giving page. So anything you can spare, I really appreciate it. It's going towards 2 fantastic charities. And on the day, I will be camera strapped to me, live streaming for probably over 4 or 5 hours. So if you want to watch somebody go through it, and if you fancy giving me a little bit of encouragement, or even a little bit of non-encouragement, give me a bit of banter, why not? It'll keep me entertained. So I'll take it all. So watch if you can, and I wish you all the best of luck for Sunday. I hope it's a good game. I like good football, so I really hope it's a good game. So and enjoy it whilst you're at Wembley. I wish I was there.
Yeah, and best of luck, Joe, in Marathon. Best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Best of luck for your run, mate, and let us know how you get on, won't you? Because I know I've been printing all your merchandise today.
Yeah, I was going to say, Miles, thank you for today. I know you all been working so hard. I really appreciate it.
It's killed me. I never put so many advertising things on the top on about 60 odd bloody orders. It's been mad, but all that's gone out today. So happy days. One final comment. Catty Cads has come in. He says 6-5 on penalties to come.
Wow.
There you go.
Put some money on that. Put a tenner on that. You may as well.
Well, might as well, yeah.
Right.
So before we go, I just want to say a massive thank you, Joe. Thanks again. And Ken, thanks for joining us again as usual. And we'll both be back on Thursday night. Hopefully we'll have a full team. Claudio will be with us. Claudio, now, top secret. I'm going to let it out of the bag. Tonight, Claudio is recording his first episode with Jim Brown. They've got a new podcast coming out, and the first episode should be out either tomorrow or Thursday. And he is around his house at the moment. Jim Brown and Claudio, the official historian for Coventry City, started his new podcast, and that will be being launched this week at some point. Don't forget, you can join us Thursday night live on YouTube from 7:30. And if you want to come to the White Horse Friday night, please do come down. Man United fans, Coventry fans, whoever, just come down, come and have a chat. We'll be in this room in the front. You can bring just everyone stand around or sit down. We can just pass the microphone around and we can have a live stream from the White Horse. Before we end the end credits, I've got something wonderful for all the Cov fans. Hope you enjoy this. Thanks, Ken. Thanks, Joe. I'm going to leave you with Jimmy Hill.
I think it is.
It's a cornet, yes.
What are you going to do with that?
I'm hoping you're going to knock out a tune for us.
Give us a blast, Jim.
Shall I blow it? I mean, you won't go.
Company dismissed. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Sky Blue Fans TV, for the fans, by the fans.